A very good morning to one and all. I, Netravati P, research scholar, JSS College of Pharmacy, and a student membership of Praisal, welcome you all for this international webinar organized by Praisal Foundation, Royal Society of Pharmaceutical, Royal International Society on Advanced Training Program. So, as we all know, COVID-19 has become a pandemic, and we all stuck up inside our home, and then we have been locked down. And we have noticed there is a gap between the education system and the continuous learning. So, Praisal Foundation has identified this issue, and they have organized this advanced training program. So, where like we can learn on different specialization topic and improve our skills based on our needs. So, the main aim of this Praisal is to support the people to promote healthcare, education, and research and social activity worldwide. So I welcome you all for this advanced training program. First, I would like to welcome our convener, Professor Preeti Tagde, President of Praisal Foundation, and our resource person, our eminent resource person, Dr. Basavaraj Nanjwade, Assistant Vice President, KGD Pharmaceuticals Private Limited, Dr. Hira Chowdhury, Head of the Department of Pharmaceutical Technology, Senior Lecturer, International Medical University, Malaysia. Dr. Bapi Goran, Senior Lecturer, School of Pharmacy, Faculty, Healthcare and Medical Science, University, Malaysia. And Dr. Dinesh Mishra, Principal, Indore Institute of Pharmacy. Dr. G.T. Kulkarni, Professor and Joint Head, APG MIT University, Noida. Dr. K. Anand, MRSC, South Africa, and Dr. Prashant Keshavani, Assistant Professor, Jamia Ahmedabad, New Delhi, and all the dignitaries present in this international webinars, and all the directors, reported, institute, principal, HODs, research scholars, and my dear students. I would like to thank for everyone for this conference. Now, I would like to take up this, continue and brief about this advanced training program for Professor Preeti ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Netra. First of all, I would like to welcome all the participants, all the resource persons, Dr. Basavaraj K. Nanjwade ji, Assistant Vice President, KGD Pharmaceutical Private Limited, Bangalore. I would like to welcome Dr. Hira Chowdhury, Head of Department of Pharmaceutical Technology, International Medical University, to this 4-day advanced training program, module first on recent advances in novel drug delivery system. So the main objective to choose the theme is to scale market extension and new formulation based novel drug delivery system can open up a new indication for new market for old product. For old product, as per our Honorable Prime Minister, he has urged for the entrepreneurship development among yourself so that we can build the nation. So without the skill, without the research and practical hands, we cannot possible to work on this sector. So with this way, we have concluded this our program on advanced training program, which is held for 4 days, and I heartily welcome you all once again.
Okay. So it's my very much privilege to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Basavaraj Nanjwade. He has almost 19 years of rich experience in pharmaceutical industry and education and research projects. So he has developed a production and he's actually involved in commercialization also. So he has developed more than 31 new products, among which 10 are natural products and 12 are from 21 are from pharma synthetic for domestic and also international market. He has developed a formulation and he has successfully transferred formulation developments like tablets, capsules, and liquids for many diseases like CNS and diabetics. So he has developed a formulation for an immediate and other release systems, and he has developed many prototypes for the formulation, and successfully he has developed a some drops and formulation of the nutraceuticals and Ayurvedic products. So he's responsible for development of solid oral products, and he could make a relevant documentation also, and then work on the different formulation at a given time period. And coming to his like research experience, he has more than 100, like more than 171 publications, both international and national level. He has written books, which 15 chapters of international books, and he has patented 16 Indian filed, and among 16, 2 has been granted. He is actually his research experience and interest are mainly on formulation development, nanopharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, cosmetoceuticals, regulatory affairs, QA, QC, and more. And he has, as I told, like he has developed many formulations also, and he has 4 years of research experience, and he has visited many countries for his present workshop and also as an speaker. So with this short brief introduction, we are very much honored you, sir, for being here and like giving a knowledge on this recent advancement in nanotechnology. And I welcome you all. I welcome you, sir, and continue like your session. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome you once again, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Preeti. Thank you, Netra. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, it's a audible.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Preeti. Thank you, Netra, giving me an opportunity to share with you my experience. And I thank you, Dr. Param Jyoti is my mentor. He's also in the group. So thank you very much to see all of you. So I'm going to be deliver my talk on emerging areas of research in our system. And there is some quiz also prepared to Preeti. We'll share you after end of the topic. And there is a number mentioned on slide. You can note down wherever you have question or doubt, note down the slide number. You can ask me after completion of my presentation, or in between you can stop me. You can ask me. Otherwise, after completion, you can connect with me, Dr. Preeti, to get the more clarification. This is my initial what is it, cooperation with all of you. So this, so my today topic is emerging areas of research in novel drug delivery system. Myself introduced by Professor Preeti Neha, working as Assistant Vice President with KGD Pharmaceuticals, plant in Bidar. We have a corporate office in Bangalore. And see the NDDS by mode of NDDS. This NDDS is classified in by mode of the delivery and by mode of the administration and mode of the carrier. The three groups you divided. We'll go one by one. By mode of novel drug delivery system, targeted drug delivery system, one. Second one is controlled drug delivery system. Third one is modulated drug delivery system. So targeted, and we are targeting particular organ. In particular organ, there is a particular tissue and particular cell that can be targeted with what is a cancer cell or some other cell we can target by the pathology of cell. And control will be controlling the drug delivery, pre-controlled or predetermined by hourly basis and day basis, weekly, mainly approach in the particular drug delivery system.
Sir, you can press shift F5.
Shift 5, full screen. Shift
F5.
It's okay? It's okay now?
Shift F5. Yes. Now it's perfect.
Okay.
So you can go through our first slide. I can start recording.
Okay. Now it's first slide.
Yes. Now.
Well, video is okay.
Yes.
Okay. This shall I start, Preeti?
Yes.
Yeah. My today's talk is emerging areas of research in all drug delivery system. Myself, Dr. Basavaraj Nanjwade, introduced by organizer by Preeti and Vaikuntha, working as assistant vice president, PhD Pharmaceuticals Private Limited. We have corporate office in Bangalore and manufacturing plant in Bidar. The next is this novel drug delivery is totally divided in three parts: mode of NDDS, route of administration, and on the basis of carrier. We'll go one by one. So I'll go with the target drug delivery system, control drug delivery system, modulated drug delivery system. And the targeted drug delivery system is nothing but smart drug delivery system, where in this delivery system, we are targeting particular organ, particular tissue, particular cell to target. So how to target? We'll first see the pathology of the cell or pathology of the organ. On that basis, we'll develop the ligands and on the basis of receptor, if we attach the ligand to the targeted dosage form, then we'll target the particular what is disease or cell to therapeutic effect. In control drug delivery system, it's controlling the dosage form or pre-control or pre-planned for hourly basis or day basis, on weekly basis, month basis. So you take the contraceptives and it goes month together for the control drug delivery system. The next is modulated drug delivery system. This is nothing but modulated as per the physical, chemical, and biochemical nature or biochemical release. So in between any technical error, just let me know. Okay, in between you can stop me. So targeted drug delivery system, we're targeting the cell and organ. In control drug delivery, controlling the release of the dosage form. Are modulated in this magnetic, osmotic, and other enzymatic drug delivery we are using. The next route of administration is that the different route of drug administration. So by seeing all this classification, you may think it's a old age classification, why you are mentioning. But in the old in this classification, we are going with a new approach. Like of course, oral dosage form is very old. In this, we are taking nanotechnology concept or MOPS, multi-particulate system. So we'll different I'll cover. So we'll go first one by one. Oral drug delivery system, pulmonary drug delivery system, injectable drug delivery system, infusion drug delivery, ocular drug delivery system, nasal drug delivery system, topical drug delivery system, implantable drug delivery system, transmucosal drug delivery system, transdermal drug delivery system, vaccines. Nowadays, we are more on vaccine and therapeutic developments for COVID-19 and biosimilars, other like 3D, many more SIRT, some other drug delivery systems are there. And next we go to the on the basis of carrier use or excipients used. So for nanoparticles, carrier nanomaterial, we can use to make the nanoparticles, like a carbon nanotube or some other. I'll explain detail in next slide. Liposomes, it is lipid made space, is lipid carrier, lipid based delivery, you can say. Microspace is bigger than the nano. So microspace is a multi-microspace, multi-layer encapsulation microspace. Monoclonal antibodies more popular nowadays for corona, COVID-19. So we are going with the monoclonal antibody, clonal antibodies, and other carrier base. If something missing, like dendrimers and all, many more are there, but they all cover in this nanoparticles. That's what I mentioned this for, and I kept other option. Then the scope of the NDDS, why this one now, right? Scope of MDDS. The novel drug delivery system is the intended to increase the efficacy of drug. So taken care of efficacy of drug and safety of drug. So there is no conventional dosage delivery. There is no repetition of doses. So you can avoid the overdosing, toxicity, and safety by the NDDS. NDDS are adapted to increase the viability of the drug, to enhance the viability, especially DCS classification 2 and 3, even 4 also. So 2, 3, 4 less viability drug can be taken for the novel drug delivery system, that too nanospares and microspheres and liposomes. right? And it enhances the stability. So next is targeted drug delivery system. So you can see the smart drug delivery system also. So sometimes called smart drug delivery system is a method of delivering medication and patient to manner increasing concentration of medication, smart parts biodegradable to other parts. So here we can deliver the exact quantity of drug. So how much required daily? When we see the pharmacopoeia in some other FDA guidelines, we'll see this much daily dose and all. So then daily dose, it's a daily dose varies on the route of administration, varies on the drug delivery system also. In targeted is very less quantity can be targeted. Less quantity of drug can be selected to achieve the therapeutic effect. This is how it works, how it is the mechanism behind the targeted system. See, we are taking the polymer. This is polymer, long chain polymer, or short-chain polymer, polymer, or some synthetic polymer. We'll attach the drug molecule to this by conjugation by different polarity, non-polarity, many parameters on it. Then it's conjugated polymer, then it targeted. This is cell. In that cell, this is the cell composition, targeting to cell. It's going to cell. Polymer drug targeting ligand conjugation, we can say. Polymer drug targeting to ligand is conjugation. Okay. Next slide is the untargeted. With the conventional dosage form, this is the target. See, untargeted one, it goes to the randomly to the output. Yeah. So see that there pathway of the targeted and non-targeted drug delivery looks. This side is untargeted drug delivery. The drug excipients and all going to the cells. It can distribute randomly or distribute to the exposed cells. Right. Is a targeted on say target guider will be there on the targeted drug delivery. It will pass from the different what do you say environment. When it go to the particular cell where we require the drug delivery, then only there only it release the drug. This is the targeted cell. This is the targeted site. The targeted targeting drug to particular cell. It pass from the various cells. When it reach to the targeted cell, release the drug. It is targeted drug targeted to the nanotube, targeting cell. Right? It go to the drug release in the particular cell. So this is see how it looks again, and one more example. Okay, it comes to the these are the see receptors, ligands and receptor, and contact to receptor. It binds with the receptor and engulf the pinocyte is taken into the cell, go into the cell, get into the cell, and work as a therapeutic effect. Next, one more example. In targeting, there is active tumor targeting, passive tumor targeting. So targeting means generally it comes in the tumor cells in mind. Right? The active tumor targeting, passive tumor targeting, and after drug delivery. When active, there is no any energy required. When it contacts with a particular cell, it will receive the receptor, go to the cell. Right? RSC go to work with the cell composition or changing the protein composition in cell. We work with the infected cell and get into the normal condition. And another one is passive tumor targeting. In this, we require the energy. When you prepare the nanoparticle or something, it requires the facilitator. You have the external facilitator, or sometimes it's on the surface of the cell. So you see that it's drug with the facilitator, and it attaches to the cell, it goes to the infected cell. So after this, after drug delivery, once it delivers, this remaining detached from the cell. Next, controlled drug delivery system. What is controlled drug delivery system? It consists of combination of an effective active pharmaceutical and alert controlled release. So it's a predetermined drug delivery or predetermined drug release can be possible in this. So it has to be within the therapeutic window. It should not be more than therapeutic window. It should not be less than therapeutic window. Fine. So shall I continue?
Yes.
Yeah. This is controlled drug delivery system is predetermined plan. We release our dosage form. According to that, we design the dosage form. it will release in the factor. So this is the curve, loading dose when it goes to the plasma concentration, peak plasma concentration, and it mentioned the straight line. It's called as the effective area. It's under the EUC area under the curve. It is above the toxic level, below is ineffective. It goes to the above this therapeutic, it goes to the toxic level. ADR can be reported when it goes to the toxic, severe, non-severe areas, and below the effective level, below the what is a therapeutic window, it is no effect, no use of taking medicine. Right. So this state line has to be maintained. It may be for 10 hours, 12 hours, 1 day, 2 days, week together, for 3 months also, highest for 3 months in case of contraceptive implants. The contraceptive implants require minor surgery, and implant can be placed in the male and female within 1 to 3 months. It's follow the control release. In that, main concept is we take care about zero order release should be followed in this drug delivery system. Next is modulated drug delivery system. In modulated drug delivery system, drug release controlled by physical, chemical, or biochemical process facilitated to the energy supplied externally. So magnetic field, we apply the magnetic field, release the drug. This system drug delivery is achieved by based on physical chemical properties like magnetically, osmotically, enzymatic, and activation of vapor pressure, nanoparticle, etc. This I'll cover in next slide. See, this is the magnetically, how it works magnetically, right? So this is a magnetic field, membrane, aperture. This is the orifice. This orifice in the 0.5 micron. This orifice are all drilled by laser, and this is a drug reservoir and drug. This magnetic field can be applied, or if it is not necessary, don't apply. When it taken, it's by this aperture, drug will come out. See in this picture, release drug formulation, deflected membrane, right? From this drug is releasing. Okay, apply magnetic field, external magnetic field, apply to release drug from magnetic drug delivery system. The next is osmotic drug delivery system. So the time zero at zero interval, how it looks, osmotic drug delivery system tablet. Here are also multi-layer coated particles or multi-layer coated tablet. So one side is the hole created by orifice, right? B, when you see the how it's look, release pathway, delivery orifice, semipermeable membrane, this semipermeable membrane, osmotic core with the drug. So osmosis takes place in this drug delivery doses. Release pathway, delivery orifice, semipermeable polymer membrane, drug reservoir with flexible membrane. This membrane is flexible. When it's required, the osmotic fluid can enter with the semipermeable membrane in the device in the dosage form. This core of the active material can be pushed from the orifice, and it will release the plasma or released to the blood, and it goes to the systematic release. This is time T is after 5 minutes, 10 minutes. T can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, hours together, right? Or day together. See how it looks in pictorial. Semipermeable membrane, outer layer is semipermeable membrane. Osmotic drug core, this core, right? This is polymeric push compartment before operation. This will help to push this active material. This will come out from this orifice. See in this picture, this drug is delivered. Volume of this one and volume is increasing because of osmotic pressure. This osmotic higher concentration to lower concentration. That fluid can enter in the dosage form. From there, dosage form core can be pushed, and from core API will release from the orifice to blood circulation. It goes to systematic circulation. So next is enzymatics. See this is one of the modulated delivery. See the encapsulated drug in that our drug or selected API encapsulated in microspheres or nanosphere, microsponges, nanosponges. It is off state. There is no any enzymes attached to this. When this dosage form or this particle exposed to body enzyme, it may be stomach enzyme or some other body part enzymes. It's in contact with enzymes, it's ligand, it is conjugate with the enzymes, and it see the on site slowly one particle or one active ingredient released from the dosage form. It may be matrix kind of you say, or reservoir kind of you can say. The offside, sorry, on site, it's releasing the one by one particles, right? So next, oral drug delivery system. It's the oldest drug delivery system, we can say, no problem. So in this, we are taking a new technology for consideration. So latest in this is MOPS. The multi-unit pallet system is more popular nowadays. In this system, you can take the microspheres, nanospheres, and compress it. Multi-layer or sometimes single layer also, because the control release, sustained release, first order, zero order, or mixed order can be achieved by this dosage form. And additionally, nano technology, nanoparticle drug delivery systems. The oral drug delivery is the most preferred and convenient route of drug administration. 80 to 90% of dosage form available in solid oral dosage form. Into high patient compliance, more patient compliance. Nowadays, little, those are a frequent travelers, for them it is little uncomfort. So in that case, it's exceptional. Cost effectiveness, least sterility, there is no sterility required at all in many cases. Constraint, flexibility in the design of dosage form and use the production. We can use the SUPAC guidelines. There is a provision to take the particular consideration to make a robust formulation, a more safe and effective formulation in the oral drug delivery system. So next, how it looks, what all the carriers, polymers or APIs can be taken for oral drug delivery. See, polymetric nanocarriers, symmetric system, reservoir, polymer, drug, inorganic nanocarriers like carbon tube, boron nanotube, right? So there's a liposomes, many more we can, or MOPS. I said this can be taken for oral solid dosage form also. May not be compressed tablet, maybe for capsule filling, maybe for some other suspension and all. We can go for compression of tablets also, but the compression pressure may be less in this. May go with the immediate release tablet or dispersible kind of powders or tablets. Not more than 3K hardness. Okay, that's hardness. Because otherwise, this nano particles can rupture, can be broke down or break down. Right? Next, pulmonary drug delivery system. It's related to lungs. We are more serious about this route of delivery now because COVID-19 causes respiratory infection, respiratory tract problems. So all pharmaceutical scientists and other basic science scientists focusing their research on pulmonary drug delivery or pulmonary, what do you say, therapeutic and pulmonary, it's a prophylactic kind of approach is going. Okay. So pulmonary drug delivery is the inhalation of drug. In this, inhalation and nebulization also taken for consideration. Mainly inhalation of drug formulation through mouth and the further deposition in the inhalation from respiration in lower areas in the main purpose of drug delivery. Sometimes it is taken for nasal route also, apart from mouth. Nasal also taken. It depends on the particle size of the powder. And next one is pulmonary drug delivery. Pulmonary drug delivery. See how its lungs can be divided in different parts. Lower lung. If any infection in lower lungs, it's very difficult. Even upper lungs also. So there's a pulmonologist can be guide us in designing robustic. Right. See benefit of this drug delivery. Drug delivery benefit. Multifunctional nanomedicine targeting imaging, diagnostic, and diagnostic, active targeting ligands, and formulation benefits, systematic and local drug delivery, dose reduction. This also comes in systematic windows, local, and see biological benefits. I don't want to read all these things. Site can be shared by Dr. Preeti. We can refer it. Right. And challenges, formulation challenges. See, so a lot of challenges in this drug delivery. pulmonary. And this area is now emerging, not only with the COVID, because of the increasing pollution in the metro cities, a lot of pollution taking place in the environment. And so out of 100, almost all 50% of population, they are suffering with lung problem or breathing problem or respiratory problem. So my concern is people can or friends can focus on this area. Technical challenges, intellectual property concerns like IPR, patent infringement, patent law. So your invention should not be infringe existing branded product or existing process from an existing research. And CMC, chemistry, manufacturing and control, is as per the or complies the FDA guidelines, right? Or the pulmonary society also they come up with some guidelines, ICH guidelines, FDA guidelines can be followed to maintain CMC. The CMC nothing but chemistry, manufacturing, control of dosage form. It is a part of the model 3 when you take the dossier filing. And biological challenges, need to conduct the toxicology study, need to study pulmonary clearance process, need to understand the analysis is all. See this is more important. Okay, I'll move to next slide. Injectable, parenteral, per oral also. What is it? Non-per oral also we can say. Parenteral drug delivery per oral, we can say per oral also. Injectable, parenterals, non-per oral. Okay, parenteral drug delivery system are the preparation that are given other than oral route. Para means outside, enteric means intestine. Outside the intestine, apart from intestine. When you're taking mouth, it goes to intestine. You're avoiding stomach, mouth, it goes to the blood, direct blood circulation. In this, we are going for the prefilled syringes, many more technology emerging. Parenteral administration route is the most common and efficient for drug delivery, active drug substance, and poor bioavailability, and drug with the narrow therapeutics index. So those are the less bioavailability that can be given by this one also. It's immediate onset of action can be achieved. Right. And for the manufacturing point of view also, for manufacturers also it is not that much complicated. Okay, it has to be maintained sterility environment and ISO class 5, then it will be 5. In this again, different approaches can be taken, nano, liposomes, many more, but it should be compatible. And needle-free injections also coming nowadays. Those are on diabetic or some just every day they need to take. This non-compliant, compliance. Okay, in that case we go the needleless injection. See how it looks. Needle, there's a different number of needle, subdermal, right, intravenous, intramuscular, different. It depends upon the drug, environment or drug, profile, we select the route of administration and target also. See, there is the structure of the skin, how it looks, where it goes. It's not intravenous, intramuscular. It goes to the intramuscular. It forms the depot. When from the depot, from this depot, you can control the dosage form. Controlling or sustaining for more than 8 hours, day, 2 days, 3 days, up to 3 days can be possible in this also. But side by side, you have to take care about toxicology. Just 5 minutes. Toxicology, because when it contact for long time, more than 24 hours, there are chances to produce toxicity. So anyway, before that, you have to clear all clinical trials and all. After that, only it comes to market. For researcher, you have to be before going for administration, human administration, you have to take toxicology study. See the solid polymer plus liquid carriers and drug. In this solid polymer, liquid carriers, we can take oil or some other, protein, soy lecithin or lecithin oil, different protein oils can be taken in drug. In this case, the drug is a hydrophilic lipophilic. When you take the lipid carriers or liquid to lipid carriers, we can go for the hydrophilic and lipophilic. Both kind of drugs can be achieved by this route. Then solidified in the body, this one. and goes to the body. There is a different concept. When it contacts the blood, body temperature, like body temperature, normal body temperature, it becomes solid in the body and slowly start releasing from there and release the drug. Then slowly it releases the drug as a polymer biodegradable. In this case, we have to take the biodegradable polymer. After releasing drug, polymer also be degrade or dissolve in the body. There is no residue left in the muscle or nowhere in the cells. Because there is something left it in the cell, is again create the toxicity or toxin in the cell. So next is the infusion of the drug, right? Parenteral, nothing but infusion is a needleless injection. Pre-filled infusion therapy, pre-filled syringes nowadays, especially for insulin, especially for diabetic people. Infusion therapy, with this latest technology, a unit dose can be metered to the location from the pre-filled container. There's a meter dose. You have to fix the meter, like 1 microgram, 2 microgram per dose. So fix it, you press it, that much only release from your device. There are some layman or some unskilled patient, they can press it twice or thrice. Nahi gaya, it is not delivered. With confusion, they will press more than one time. So that can be avoided by, overdose can be avoided by this technology. And more patient compliance. There's no pain. It's a painless job, painless drug delivery. Then ocular drug delivery system. This is ophthalmic also we can say. See, delivery of drug to the targeted ocular tissues in restricted by various precorneal dynamic and static ocular barrier. See, this here we are mainly ocular inserts and all we place in this area. This area called as lower cul-de-sac and lower pharynx. This has the 20 microliter capacity, liquid holding capacity. This area holds the 20 microliter liquid. So that's what the doctor suggests, 4 or 5 drops in at a time. So because and whatever foreign particles goes to this organ, so immediately lacrimal secretion starts. So there's the beauty of God creation. See, apart from drug, any foreign particles goes, the lacrimal drainage takes place. With that drainage, all foreign particles come out. In our drug delivery cases, we will bind with the polymer and place it where it will sometimes adhere to the mucus or immediately absorbed from the ocular mucus. See, the surface implant, gel formation drops, intranasal implants, intracorneal implant, injectable drugs, subconjunctival implants, punctual plugs. These are the drug dosage forms to the ophthalmic. There are some corneal injections also, glaucoma, open glaucoma or closed glaucoma is there. When you will go in detail, because Dr. Preeti said you cover them in, you take it the 1 hour presentation. That's what I cannot elaborate much on this. Some other time we can. So these are the different doses form can be delivered to. Can you audible, Preeti? Dr. Preeti?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
in between anything you can stop me, right? So these are the different delivery. It is a big chapter. Some other time I can explain on the individual doses form.
Okay.
So, okay. So here also more important, we'll select the biodegradable polymer, right? When the solid and the ocular insert, the moon saves, sometimes rod saves, thickness is the less than 1 mm or sometimes 0.5 mm also need to be taken for consideration. And drops, of course, drops become gel when you put in the ocular cavity. Next one is nasal drug delivery system. This is almost all parallel to parenteral. Nasal administration is the route of administration in which drugs are just tell you. Drugs are in sulfated through this means delivered through the nose. It can be form of the either topical administration or systemic administration, which goes for the topical as well as systematic. So the nasal is that there is a one saying, nose to brain. Wanted to target the drug to brain, you go via nose. If you're going other route of administration, there is no use because that has to go for the BBB, blood-brain barrier. So blood-brain barrier cannot allow any unknown material from that barrier. So it's very difficult to achieve the drug targeting to brain. So better you go with the nasal route. There is a particular particle size, if it is less than 0.5 gram, that can be easily targeted the brain. Okay? Systematic and local. Local, that is attached to the mucus of the nasal. From there it gives the local effect. For pulmonary also sometimes used, but is more suitable for the brain. especially for Alzheimer's drug delivery, Alzheimer's disease. Then the local delivery can go to the either purely local or systematic effect. Both can be achieved. And this route of administration is parallel to parenteral drug delivery system. See how it looks. So this is nose. Your nose. You are nebulizing or inhaling particle by medical devices. You know that medical device with the drug inhaler or nebulizer. Then from the here it goes to the brain. From brain it goes to the blood circulation. From this is a novel international route. Conventional strategy, when it's going the conventional one, it goes to the different route, then it goes to blood circulation. From the blood circulation, it's very difficult to go to brain because there is a BBB barrier, blood-brain barrier that won't allow from conventional route apart from nasal. From nasal route, it will go to the this. This is the olfactory region is the more important to take for brain pathway. This is how it looks. See picture. See olfactory region nose to brain delivery. Okay. Fine. Next, we'll go for the topical drug delivery or transdermal drug delivery. In this dosage form, topical transdermal film, we can say transdermal patch, we can say the dosage form. So in this, the different pathways is one pathway. This is the This is one pathway. See the blue, light blue, is a pink one. This under this one. See, these are the drug pathways. Mainly topical medication or epicutaneous, meaning that they are applied directly to the skin. Nano emulsion, nano emulgel, nanomicelles. So that these are the different doses form. Then the nano range only. Transcellular route, paracellular route. The transcellular route pass from this cell. It penetrates through this cell. In paracellular, in between this cell, there is a minor gap between one cell to another cell. Or sometimes this pore or this size can be enhanced by permitting enhancer. And sometimes you can enhance the cell structure also. This route can be exploited by the enhancing agent. There is a limitation, should not be more than 2%. As per guidelines, we can go ahead. But these are the two pathways to penetrate drug through skin and the transcellular, then transcellular nothing but pass from this cell. One cell, two cell, third cell, and fourth, it goes to circulation, blood cell. In here, see the gap between cell to cell. From there, gap will pass from the barrier, it goes to the right. And here I wanted to give one. This breathing patches coming up. Breathing means when you put the patch for more than, say, bandage and all, generally you will put more than 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. There is no air circulation for these cells, right? So that time there is a problem with the cells. So in that case, to avoid or to overcome this problem, we are going with the breathing transdermal patches. There is a liner between membrane and film, so that can pass the oxygen, that can exchange the oxygen outside patch to inside patch, contacted to cell. Then implantable drug delivery system. It required minor surgery. We can say invasive also. Implantable drug delivery system are being developed to release the drug to the bloodstream continuously as well as free patient from being hospitalized to receive intravenous infusion or frequent injection. Implantable devices are called upon to serve a variety of functions. So it requires some hospitalization. It's not self-medicated or it's not possible on prescription also. We go for, and this can be taken for contraceptive, male, female, and for orthopedic surgery or bone-related treatment. This is a wireless implantable medical device, and now for security purpose also, defense can utilize this this technology with medication. So wireless implantable medical devices, a deep brain neurostimulator, cochlear implant, gastric stimulator, cardiac defibrillator, pacemaker, foot drop implants, insulin pump. These are all device with medication. Some new Indian CDSU law 2017 is a guidelines for medical devices. These all drug delivery medical device with the drug delivery. It goes the medical device type B. So not much patches goes to the medical devices type B. So less what do you say, less risk. So transmucosal drug delivery system. So there is a transmucosal can be in oral, then vaginal, rectal, different rectal. Oral transmucosal drug delivery may be defined as administration of pharmaceutically active agent through the oral mucus to achieve systemic effect, like buccal film, sublingual tablet, sublingual film, right? So all the learned from my mentor. So transmucosal refer to the route of admission in which drug diffused through the mucous membrane. This mucous membrane respect to this can refer to inhalation. Nasal also have mucous membrane. Sublingual, right? Vaginal, vaginal suppositories and vaginal range and of rectal suppositories, ocular route, right? And more. These are the major mucosal area. See, I put one picture. This is a sublingual tablet, sublingual film, mucoadhesive film or mucoadhesive patch, you can say. Right. So I hope I'll skip this picture. Later on you can get it. You can get slides. Next we'll go for the transdermal, same like topical. So I am repeating, just I wanted to put some picture more how looks the transdermal patch. In academic generally prepare the patch and see the activities is over. It has to be packed in a particular packaging material to reach up to customer in safe and efficacy level. Transdermal drug delivery system are defined as self-contained discreted dosage form, which are also known as patches, or you can say film also. Some say patches, some say film. When patches are applied to the intact skin, healthy skin, not broken skin or cutted skin, wound skin, for that particular patches are there. Okay, so regular patches should not deliver the drug through the skin at a controlled rate to the systemic circulation. You see all the paracellular and right, these two pathways are there. Transcellular. So any one can be followed or both can be. It's all depend on your expertise. Okay. See how it looks, patches after packing. This is how when you're going in market, how it looks. So matrix, in matrix also prepare multi-laminated, different layers. We were going with the more than one drug loading in single patch. We go with the multiple layer. Reservoir, drug in adhesive. Matrix, reservoir, multi-laminated, drug in adhesive. Matrix means you're mixing polymer and drug, make a film and put a liner. See that this color, okay, it's a liner, okay. Adhesive, this is the adhesive liner. Before that I'll show it. See, this is blue one is backing membrane, adhesive, drug reservoir or drug liner, liner skin, okay, this matrix. And multi-laminated, in this case, blue is backing membrane, and this one is drug in adhesion, and pink one is membrane, separating two layers, two adhesion, or two matrix, you can say, drug in adhesion, different drug, different membrane, and liner or skin liner attached to skin, adhesed to skin. Then reservoir, see, drug in adhesion, backing, drug in adhesion, liner or skin. So vaccine, we will come to a hot topic. Nowadays, everyone talking about vaccine development and therapy for COVID, corona. So vaccine is a biological preparation, right? That provides acquired immunity to a particular disease. The vaccine typically contains an agent that resembles a disease causing microorganism, right? And is often made from weakened or killed form of the microbes. Its toxins or one of its surface proteins. So destroying the surface protein of virus, the surface protein of bacteria by vaccine. Okay, typically contain agent that resembles. These vaccines are resembling with bacteria and virus. It's mainly for virus. It kills the surface protein or inside protein of the that's unwanted or changed or disturbed unsequenced protein that's not useful to human body. That protein can be killed or removed from the vaccines. This is a vaccine kind of, or you can say therapeutic also. See how looks vaccines, right? It looks like a virus only. It looks like COVID-19 only. In this, see this antennas, it is more useful in the next slide. Why I'm showing these are the, when you take the virus, these are antigens, and you take the vaccine, antibodies. This antibody attached to antigens, antibody, monoclonal antibody as polyclonal antibodies. We'll talk in the next slide. See how it looks. So biosimilars. Biosimilars is a biological medical products, also known as biologicals, highly similar to another already approved biological medicine that refers medicine. This we can say that generic, how we'll say in pharmaceuticals, generic or ANDA, parallel to branded drug. In this biologicals, is biosimilars are parallel to biologicals. Biosimilars are approved according to the same standards of pharmaceutical quality, safety, efficacy that applies to all biological medicine. You can say biopharmaceuticals. See how it looks. See that carefully, these two pictures. This is a reference product. Take pharmaceutical as biologics also. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here, see carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, 1, 2 only. It's a what do you say? Recombinant DNA, a recombinant technology. The same safety, same efficacy, same everything is shortened. Shorten the sequence. It's called the biosimilar. Structurally changing. All remaining is similar. Only structure-wise it's changing. You are not copying as it is innovator reference product. See, everything is same. This sequence is changing in this part. Accept this. So next, how it can be achieved. Right? The biosimilar one example also. Ranibizumab is our Biocon also coming with this biosimilar. Already they got this FDA approved for this. Ranibizumab biosimilar with PG, polyethylene glycol conjugated, regulated with this biosimilar polymer, gold nanoparticles. Finally, it's gold nanoparticle. It is gold nanoparticle on that surface. Ranibizumab biosimilar PG chain, PG conjugating with ranibizumab, and VEGF. This VEGF is the vesicular endothelium growth factor. This is enhanced to the permeation. And the size of the particle is 5 nanoparticle. So as per nanometer or nanoscience or nanotechnology, as per NIH, it has to be less than 100 nanometer. In a nanodoses, any nanodoses should be less than 100 nanometer. Then only we'll say nano drug delivery system. So this is our market, what is the prediction? 2025 will be this much enabler. So this not much useful for this. Those are in market, for them it is more useful. I'll skip this slide. Next we'll go to the nanoparticles, how it looks. I said it's divided into 1 to 100 nanometers. So nanoparticles are particles between 1 to 100 nanometers. Is less than 100 or 100, then we will say nanoparticles. Is more than 100, no, we cannot say nanoparticle. We can say nanometer, 105 nanometer particles, right? But it cannot be taken as per NIH definition for nano drug delivery or nanotechnology. Nanometers inside the surrounding interfacial layer. Interfacial layer is an integral part of nanoscale matter, fundamentally affecting all of its properties. The interfacial layer typically consists of ions, inorganic and organic molecules. Here you can check organic polymers and inorganic polymers also. See now gold particles it's inorganic, silver also inorganic, some carbon nanotubes, boron nanotubes there, some other smart metals. I wanted to highlight some but nanomaterials, we cannot say particles. It's later on it taken nano shape. See the gold, silver, and boron, carbon, this dendrimer, there's the liposomes, what is it? Angiosomes, many more. So lipid-based nanoparticles. These are all the lipid-based nanoparticles, multi-layer, single layer go for only hydrophilic or lipophilic, multi-layer for both hydrophilic plus lipophilic drug delivery can be achieved from this bilayered nanoparticles or liposomes. So liposomes are spherical vesicle having at least one lipid layer, at least one, maybe hydrophilic or lipophilic. The liposomes can be used as a vehicle for administration of nutrient and pharmaceutical drugs. Nutraceuticals also what do you say, phytosomes, now new concept, phytosomes in the nutraceutical industries, they use the lipids to deliver nutraceuticals, active nutraceuticals, even for Alzheimer's approach. Liposomes can be prepared by disrupting biological membrane, such as by sonication. Disrupting biological membrane of lipids by sonication. There are two methods are there to liposomes or nanoparticles by top-down and bottom-up method. The sonication is the easiest way to get liposomes. See how it looks is a multilamellar, right? See, A1 is a conventional liposomes. Okay. B1 is pegylated liposomes. PEG, conjugated PEG. And C1 ligand targeted. This helps in targeting drug delivery. D1 is multifunctional liposomes, theranostic liposomes. The simple conventional one, exporting DNA, RNA, SR, RNA, right? So here we can hydrophilic, lipophilic can be, right? Hydrophilic plus lipophilic drug. Here one type of another can be pegylated with PEG, and this helps to target it, to targeting particular cancer cell. This concept can be taken forward. So microspheres, we'll go to the next. Microspheres are small spherical particles with diameter in the micrometer range, typically 1 micron to 0.7,000 micrometer, so 1 mm. In this range, you can say the microsphere. If it's more than this range, more than 1 mm, we cannot say microspheres. It's more than 100 nanometer, we cannot say nanoparticles. Right? In microspheres also, with more than 1 millimeter, you cannot say microspheres. It may be colloidal spheres or some other spheres and so on. Microspheres are sometimes referred to as spherical microparticles. In general, microspheres are solid or hollow and do not have fluid inside and are used to be microsphere. This microsphere sometimes spongy also. We can say microsponges. It's especially for topical acne and for cosmetics, we can use the microsponges. Cosmetic, yeah, drug delivery via cosmetics. See, microspheres are it looks. Matrix particles, matrix, cell, capsule, and capsulate. So when you've taken the TS, how it looks, microsphere cross section, outer cell, polymer 1, core, polymer 2 with dispersed drug. This dark particle is a drug, dispersed with one polymer and coated with another one. This goes for sustained release or controlled release kind of drug release. Monoclonal antibody is interesting, and talking about vaccine, right? And that's how it's impact on monoclonal antibodies. So monoclonal antibodies are antibodies that are made by identical immune cells that are all full of the unique parent cell. So monoclonal antibodies can have monoclonal antibodies can have monovalent affinity in that they bind to the same epitope. Epitope is available, it's present on antigens or infected cell, right, or on virus. The part of the antigen that is recognized by the antibody. This is your skill. How to select antibody. That antibody is target to antitop, this particular virus. So a virus may be having many antitop, more than one antitop. In that case, you go with the polyclonal antibody. If it is one antitop, you will go with the monoclonal antibodies. It is more than one polyclonal antibodies. See here, this is a monoclonal antibodies. This is epitope. So it's antibodies coming and attaching to the cancer cell ligand. Okay, so protein on this cell. See, when it attaches to the antigen, how it forms binding. After binding, this antibody enter into cell and it delivers the drug inside the cell, infected cell. This infected cell having particular pathology of surface protein of cell. So it's called different surface. Okay, see how it looks. Fine. So on this basis, you go ahead for the monoclonal antibodies or polyclonal antibodies. Co-ed may require polyclonal antibodies. Its protein changing, protein morphology is changing. And in this pre-form, these are the formulation. Now I will talk about little pre-formulation. I hope majority from pharmaceuticals they can understand. Pre-formulation and formulation aspect. Pharmaceutics is the study of relationship between pharmaceutical formulation, between pre-formulation, pharmaceutical formulation, delivery. After pre-formulation, we will go for the formulation. After formulation, we deliver the dosage form by different route. Then disposition, it goes to the ADME, pharmacokinetics. Then it goes to the clinical response. Then only we will fill the complete drug delivery. If there is no clinical response, no use of developing such dosage form. So this clinical response again depends upon the route of administration, selection of carrier, selection of ligand, selection of the many more concepts. So it will come by expertise or you refer the particular pathophysiology of disease and will come to know. Then nanoparticle drug delivery is little repeating. So the modern form of drug delivery system should minimize side effects. By this kind of delivery, we'll minimize the side effect because it's a guided one, targeted. It go to a particular infected cell, then only it release the drug. There is no question of infecting other cells. Where you can say that the zero damage of side cells also you can say. We'll reduce both doses and dose frequency. In conventional, twice in a day, thrice in a day, many times in a day. In this dosage form, once in a day or once in a 2 days, once in a week. Still in ophthalmic drug delivery, see the doctor suggests 4 times, 5 times in a day, conventional drops. And sustained or nanoparticle dosage form, so once in a day, enough. So that's the advantage of nano delivery. And smart drug delivery, nothing but targeted. Once again, I'm repeating this slide. So just I'll do because I am giving one example in the slide. Smart drug delivery system is a recently emerging therapeutic approach, now turning into the conventional model to deliver drug to specific site or target. Targeted cell, cancer cell, or infected cell. Drug targeted delivery system maintain the concentration of the drug, the desired dose in the body, and avoid the need for the repeated dose. By this, you avoid the repeated dose. Avoid the toxic level of the dose. See how it looks. It's a pictorial explanation. tumor associated receptor, linker, this is drug. Okay, fine. Medical device for drug delivery. This is somewhat right. So now, especially for topical and nasal, we have to go with the medical device. Transdermal drug delivery, nebulizer, DPI, MDI, microdose inhaler, drug powder inhaler, right? Okay. So here, drug delivery device are specialized tool for the delivery of drug or therapeutic agent via specific route of administration. Such devices are used as a part of one or more medical treatment. For this, we have to follow medical device guidelines 2017. They have made more stringent nowadays. See now they are, when using this device for nasal, so by this device we can deliver particles, fine powder particles, or aerosols. So more suitable is aerosol. So in this, just a minute. Yeah. Metered spray also can be this aqueous based formulation can be delivered. And aerosols, there's a propellant based nasal spray, propellant based nasal aerosols can be delivered by this device. And next comes to 2D and 3D printing in drug deliveries. Nowadays it is taking a lot of concentration on the pharmaceutical research. This allows controlling the properties of the printed substances. It opens up new avenues for tailoring physiochemical properties of organic substances with FDA approval of the first 3D printed tablets Tritam. There's a research with this trade name, you will get the 3D printed drug delivery tablet. There is now precedence set for utilization of 3D printing for preparation of drug delivery. See how it looks, how it gives the commands to computer or software to get printed. So there is a hopper. I will put our granulation hopper, with compression hopper. So put powder blend in hopper, hot melt extruder. And from this element the particular extruders, granules, filament goes to the this printing. This one, this can be monitored by the software. Doses from designed by software. This can be taken for personalized medicine, some more, or orphan drug delivery also you can say, orphan therapy or orphan doses. And see how these are different methods in this 2D and 3D printing in drug delivery. Fuse deposition, modeling, inject powder by printing, particle printing, personalized dosage form, oral dispersible dosage form, selective laser sintering, stereolithography, computer-aided tissue engineering, 3D plotting bioprinting. Can be taken for multiple purpose. In pharmaceutical we use 3D printing tablets. And global drug delivery, this policy for awareness, I put many of your notes about this. In the developing world, especially approximately half the population has no access to public health services. It is obvious then that other sources of care will be used. However, the wide range type of formulation of over-the-counter drugs available in this retail outlet considered major health hazard. In Indian outlets, majority of OTC is available. So that has some health hazards also. Advantages and disadvantages are there. But because of some market policy or because of practitioners shortage, this practice will be happening. Yes, at both users and the proprietor of retail outlet know little or nothing about the drug and thus use or sell them inappropriately. So this one should know about global drug delivery policy. Don't restrict only national policy. So expert to globalized policy. So next dosage form or route of delivery of drug. The counter PBA, embolized particles, are small and irregular flake polyvinyl alcohol which are used for permanent occlusion within blood vessels. So the new kind of therapy, emerging therapy. The counter PBA polyvinyl alcohol embolization particles have been proven to be safe and effective in many clinical scenarios for decades. See how it works. Especially for liver treatment, we take it for liver treatment. Embolization particle flowing to abnormal vessel plexus. Microcatheter. This is a pictorial explanation. I'll take you more in the next slide, more into this with next slide. So liquid embolic, the polymerization process that occurs when it contacts blood vessels in an exothermic reaction that causes vessel wall injury and coagulation or coagulative occlusion of the vessel. See now the gelatin we use here, grafted gelatin, in gelatin A and B, type A and B. We will go for type A, silicated platelet and catheter. The sharing things biometry goes to the vessel and see here is a blood vessel. Coagulation, occlusion of the vessel to drop the bleeding area. So next one is selective internal radiation therapy. I think this two or three slides last. Selective internal radiation therapy. This for liver. The selective internal radiation therapy is the treatment for liver cancer because liver cancer is very difficult to take for surgery. Right? Liver cancer or tumor that deliver million of tiny radioactive microspace or beads called SIR space. It's a registered brand name. You check it is brand name, you get the manufacturer and composition also. Directly to the liver tumor. It goes to directly liver tumor. SIR space are approved for the treatment of liver tumor that cannot be removed by surgery. So liver tumor cannot be removed by surgery. For that, this therapy will be ideal, recommended to remove liver tumor. So nowadays, this kind of cases increasing in the Western culture, Western food habit. Even in Asia, also in Japanese population, you will find more. How it looks. Selective internal radiation therapy, it's called SIRT. Liver, tumor in liver, SIRT bead going to the liver cancer cells, blood vessel, catheter. Through catheter, it's going to liver vessel and releasing the beads. It goes to the cell, target the cell and kill the cancer cell. Next, holmium-based microspace is one of the material so used into SLIT. Take the SLIT. The radioactive holmium phosphate that have a high holmium content, 52% weight, are very stable in human serum. Holmium release less than 0.1%. It is concluded that holmium or attractive microspace for application in the SRIT technology for liver malignancies and for intratumoral treatment of solid tumors. See how it looks. When you go for the development, you consider you take this pathway. See the homogenizer, holmium crystals, put in the beaker, stir it. This is the sequence. See how it's right. Microspace. So next nanoparticles and repetition. I don't want to be tough on this. It's repeating which wanted to be say about the range of nanoparticles. The interfacial layers are integral part of the nanoscale matter fundamental affecting the properties. The interfacial layer typically consists of ions in organic and inorganic molecules. So last about the nanoparticles suspension. Once you prepare the nanoparticle, you take a nanoparticle material that you take it for nanosuspension. The nanosuspension can be preparation by different methods, dosage form, components, drug delivery system. So in method of preparation, top-down method and bottom-up methods. All nanotechnology adapted nanotechnology formed by these two methods, top-down method, bottom-up method. In top-down method, wet milling, dry milling, high pressure, homogenization, co-grinding. Then it goes to post-production process. When you select a bottom-up method, from small atom to building nano range. It's an anti-solvent precipitation or crystallization method, liquid emulsion technique, sono-precipitation method, post-production process, and freeze drying. It's liquid. We go for freeze drying, spray freezing. Dosage form may be liquid and powder. When we go for freeze drying, we get the powder and we sieve it. Right? Screen it. We get the pallet and go for the compression of tablet. Fill the capsule or go for filling capsule. Prepare fill. Prepare the semi-solid material and paste on this film and go as a transdermal film, not sublingual film. The stabilizers. Stabilizer organic solvent we can use, surfactant, co-surfactant, osmogen, chiroprotein nectant, then drug delivery system, oral drug delivery administration, parenteral, pulmonary, ocular, dermal, targeted. So the global market, just have a look on another two slides about market. Global NDDS market is 75% North America, 55% Europe, Asia Pacific, and Latin America, MENA, the sharing of global NDDS market. So there's a particular bar data, targeted delivery, targeted implant and IODs, interacting devices, sustained release product, transmucosal products, transdermal delivery. So key players in this novel delivery about laboratories, AstraZeneca, Bayer Healthcare, pharmaceutical, GlaxoSmithKline PLC, Johnson Johnson, Merck, Novartis, Pfizer, Inc, Roche, Sanofi, Aventis. So thank you. This is my last slide. Any questions? Feel free to ask.
Sir, can you please off the screen share?
Come out from this cell. If it is not turn out from this cell, it's remain for more hours, remain more time in this cell. It's create the toxicity in that cell. Then that toxicity multiplies to one cell to another cell. With that, you may get again tumors. You may get other side effects. Right? So that's what in this case, to avoid the toxicity, we'll go with the compatible polymer.
Okay.
Biodegradable polymer that has to degrade in the cell itself, and that has to be compatible with cell. So whatever we using carrier or material, that has to be biodegradable first. Then after biodegradation, that has to be compatible with cell. Even it mix up, it remain with cell also. No toxic to cell environment. I answered.
Thank you so much, sir. And I just heard like you have 16 patents, and you have developed a product for the domestic as well as international market. And so people are very enthusiastic. Like, meanwhile, I receive many questions in between that. Can we use polyethylene oxide to develop fast-releasing drug delivery system?
Which one?
It's ethylene oxide, polymer, polyethylene oxide.
Polyethylene oxide. PVA.
Huh.
PE.
Polyethylene oxide. Can we use polyethylene oxide?
Yeah. That can be.
Sir, you have covered ocular part also. So in between that, I received one question. What is the major problem with eye drop formulation?
Yeah. Eye drops formulation. See, that's what I told you. It is a liquid. There is a high holding capacity is only 20 microliter. Whatever you put in the eye, water, or when you're washing eye also, with water or distilled water or some eye wash solution, are you putting the drop in the eye? That too, we put the lower cul-de-sac, lower part of the cul-de-sac. That's holding capacity is 20 microliter. Okay. If it is pH is only 6.4 to 7 pH of that liquid, that remain for some more time. If it is lesser pH, more pH, there is the lacrimal secretion. With lacrimal secretion, come to the eye. When volume increase the more than 20 microliter, it will come out with the tear. That's when we are crying, the tear will come.
Dr. Munish has one more question. What is the maximum time for retention of nanoparticles in the ocular site?
Retention, yeah, it's a good question. See, again, it depends upon your polymer, what type of polymer you use, what technology you adapted. If it is in situ gel or what do you say, solid dose, like ocular rod, ocular gel, ocular suspension, rather than solution. Solution can be 6 hours or 8 hours. Nanotechnology. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So when in liquid, it is 4 to 8 hours. When it is suspension solution, more than 8 hours. When the ocular rod and insert, is more than 12 hours. Again, if you need more than 1 day, you have to go with the particular technology that has to be remain in the ocular cavity. That can be achieved. There are the special polymers. These are the special polymers. Only there is a little patient uncomfort, means the patient compliance may be less. If once they are familiar, and again it depends on your technology. If it is soft insert, soft solid insert.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, one more question.
Hello. Yeah.
Which nano formulation is best suited for delivering multiple moieties to lung tissue?
Okay. Lungs, you are
yes.
right.
You have covered that pulmonary and all the parts. So the question is arise for that part only.
Yeah. See here, question comes with the fine particle you are using, that to less than 0.5 micron. You are taking a adhesive kind of polymer, which is difficult for lung delivery, because when it goes to the lung inside the air sac, right, it should not to attach. There also some kind of adhesive membrane, means tuberous. That polymer should not adhere the surface of the lungs. The particle surface should not adhere. I mean to say, whoever excipient giving adhesive property, that kind of excipient don't use for the pulmonary drug delivery system.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. One more question I just wanted to ask.
In general, I told. If in detail, I can, because there is a combination. Those polymers give the adhesion. That adhesive properties polymer cannot be taken for the lung.
Yeah. So Mr. Suryanath Pandey has one question. How can we correlate T-half with nano formulation?
Okay, right. Good question. T half, this is a half-life of drug,
Yes, yes.
right? Half-life of drug. Or you wanted to self-life or T half? What do you want it to? Half-life or self-life you want? Hello? See, half-life means it's a how much time it takes to eliminate from the body, that drug. Okay, that can be extended. If it is half-life is less than 6 or 4, in between 1 to 4 half-life, will take this kind of drug for the sustained release, controlled release, prolonged release with different technology. It may be microsphere, nanosphere, like liposome, microsponges, and all. If it is in more than 8 hours, there is no use of going the sustained release kind of formulation for that half-life, right? Half-life. And self-life it is come. Self-life is the stability of the doses. It should be retained more than 95%, actually 98 to 99% after that particular time, particular temperature. This is self-life.
Sir, okay. I just wanted to share in meanwhile, we have shared the quiz test series in a chat box and you have only 15 minutes. So you can solve that and submit it so that after that the link will be closed. So meanwhile, I'm just taking one question by Dr. Manisha Pandey. Uh, is there a difference between sustain and prolonged release?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Who is online? Manisha Pandey.
Manisha Pandey.
Yeah, Manisha Pandey, it's good. See, this is the sustained release, prolonged release, controlled release. This is all exploited by pharmaceutical scientists to get the patents or get the trademark and all. So in nutshell, we'll say that prolonging the release means extending the release. Prolonging, extending, yes. 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, 24, 24 hours, 48 hours. This is prolonging as long as it depends on your skin. You're using such a polymer that upon prolonging, enhancing that time. The sustained release that prolonging with sustaining the drug. This per hour, you decided that the daily dose is like 20 microgram or 20 mg. With that prolonged release, your drug is sustaining. So every hour it releasing only 20 mg. And second hour again it releasing 20 mg. Third hour again releasing 20 mg. And fourth hour it releasing 20 mg. As in the time interval, the daily dose interval, no, that much only releasing. That prolongs for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, month together. When you take the contraceptive doses from that goes for the 3 months. Sustain with prolong. Prolong means extending, prolonging your duration.
So one question
I
I
hope
have,
my-
yeah.
I hope.
I'm getting your voice. So one question I just get, is there interfacial layer mainly consists of organic and inorganic molecule? Is it? So he's just, Salahuddin Ansari has his question.
Interfacial that has to be there to go for that what is it targeted drug delivery.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's required. As what is a grafted or regulated, right, or dendrimers. In that case, it will work out the two different particles.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nanzwade sir. And really, it's a very nice session. And just with this word, I can conclude.
Can I be online?
Just give me a few minutes. No man is an island. When we achieve, we usually do so. Because other have helped, your lecture is really eye-opener and knowledgeable one. We really learned a lot from this session. And with this word, I really thanks you have spare your valuable time in Prism platform And I just present the certificate of appreciation and token of remembrance as you came to our platform virtually. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Preeti, giving me an opportunity. And thanks to all audience, especially Dr. Paramjyoti sir is there. He's my mentor. I'm very much happy to acknowledge him. And thanks to you also.
Sir is here. Can I unmute him?
But it is not like you all are proud of India. Thank you. So actually, really, I should appreciate actually Dr. Vasavraj for such informative talk. It really will be useful for all of us during our research work, even actually preparing lecture. It is really informative session. Thank you, Dr. Vasavraj.